مرحبا. أنا اسمي ملحم مكحل.
وأنا حسام الياس.
We're here to talk about gaming. نحكي عن gaming. Gaming it's an industry which makes which has made in 2022 over
$300 billion.
Over $300 billion. And it have a long history of success, failures, and نجاح وفشل ومشاكل و controversies. It's too long لنحكي عنها هلا.
شو عم بلش اليوم نحكي؟
نحكي عن الجيمنج. نحكي عن الهيستوري، كيف بلشت الجيمنج ومراحل، شوية عن مراحل معينة بين جيمنج وكيف تغير بين فترة وفترة، بين فترة زمنية معينة.
يعني عم نحكي بأي سنة تقريبا؟
Gaming started بال 1970s.
عم نحكي ديجيتال، انالوج، نينتندو، شو
بلشوا early gaming. كانت أول شي عندك جيمز simple gaming devices كتير simple منهم انتسوا للتاريخ. يعني
بتذكر كان في اتاري، كان نلعب اتاري.
one of the most known of the early gaming devices هي اتاري. later نزلوا bigger much more known console مثل السيجا جينيسيس، النينتندو 64 بال 80s وال 90s and other consoles. later بعد after a while Sega got out of the making gaming consoles. فهلا سيجا ما بقى as تعمل جيمنج كونسول، بقت more of a publisher. هلا
وصلنا اليوم للبي اس اكس.
هلا عندك التوب 3 جيمنج بلاتفورم هولدرز هن مايكروسوفت اللي عندها والاكس بوكس سيريز اكس هلا and سيريز اس as well as عندهم the Windows platform هو اللي most PCs use Windows platform for gaming. عندك نينتندو اللي عندهم هلا السويتش، وقبلها كان عندهم a lot of consoles. منها the last console كانت النينتندو وي يو اللي that wasn't successful.
Tragic success.
It wasn't successful كتير a lot as far as I know. عندك سوني اللي عندها البلاي ستيشن براند.
سوني مايكروسوفت ونينتندو.
For the top 3 قلنا سوني مايكروسوفت and نينتندو. In the past it was Sony and Nintendo. بعدين I mean Sony and Sega. Or it was Nintendo and Sega I mean.
Nintendo and Sega. وكانوا اثنيناتهم owned by Microsoft.
No. Microsoft ما كانت a major player back then, I think. Microsoft can only had the Windows. بعدين I think in the early 2000s somewhere Microsoft بلشت الاكس بوكس بال early 2000 I think. بعدين after ما فشلت اخر كم كونسول لسيجا وقفوا السيجا. هلا عندك توب 3 مثل ما قلنا نينتندو مايكروسوفت اند سوني.
طب خلينا نحكي شوي عن الكواليتي اوف جيمنج، كيف كان وكيف صار.
quality of gaming changes all the time. بس general in the past لسبب ما كان يقدروا يعملوا باتشز بسهوله. كان كل الجيمنج فيزيكال ديسكس، حتى قبل كان فلوبي ديسكس. if all people know what floppy disks are. يعني
عم نحكي
بتعرف انت فلوبي
ديسك اكيد اللي بيجي بيسح فيه 2 ميجا بايت يمكن او شيء هيك.
مش 2 ميجا بايت
هيك شيء ماكسيموم. 1.2
يلا تعمل
طب كيف فينا نفرق اذا كان بكواليتي قبل وبكواليتي هلا؟ يعني شو الفرق؟
كواليتي من قبل
اي احسن اي احلى؟
روق يا خلي كواليتي من قبل. The reason the quality is so high in the past because you couldn't بس تنزل game it either success or a failure وما كان فيك تعمل patches. يعني any bug بالجيم كانت تضلها بالجيم. ما كان فيك تعملها باتشنج لانه كان كل الجيمنج بي سي and console as well كان كله disc based. ضلوا ديسك بيس لحتى the introduction of digital media بلش on PC بلش بستيم بلش as the first platform اللي بلش digital distribution of games. صار فيك صار companies كان started was able to play sell games digitally من دون لا تشتري الجيم ديسك.
كيف كانوا اونلاين كانت شيء كانت اونلاين او
اونلاين it's online gaming distribution.
اوكي كانت توزع through the internet.
Before that and before in the 90s the internet أول شيء the internet in the 90s and before it wasn't strong enough and it wasn't that well used and it was pretty new.
بس قبل هالشيء كانت CDs يعني عم نحكي compact disc CDs بعدين اونلاين DVDs بعدين بلشنا بالاونلاين جيمنج.
لا اونلاين
هون اختربت الدنيا.
Online with online gaming it caused a change in gaming. Actually, at first it was positive because you could like easily distribute games.
You can just play a game whenever you want.
Also, you can patch a game, like you can make games
online.
But make game, and if there's a problems, you can patch it.
You can fix it later. Yeah.
But because of that, it made a mentality in gaming developers and publishers. They started releasing games broken and patching them later.
Why would they do that?
Money. And also because of digital distribution, because of this, so they were able to introduce a type of payment in gaming which we call microtransactions.
يعني هم بلشنا الاونلاين payments على الجيمز.
Online extra payment.
يعني stores, online stores where you pay.
Where you pay extra.
هون بلشوا.
It was like simple and it wasn't يعني came full game. The first DLC. Do you know what's the first DLC?
No.
Horse armor for the eldest called Oblivion.
شو هذا؟
And the first DLC ever made in gaming, it was horse armor for the game. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. They made horse armor and excellent a skin basically, and they like charged like $2-3 for it.
To play it.
And everybody got mad. So what the hell is this? And there was $3 for this
stupid game.
$3 this skin.
For the skin of the armor.
Which was
هلا مش هالقد بياخدوا اصلا يمكن مزبوط. اكتر.
After this it actually went way worse. Now for example in Call of Duty in the past, in Call of Duty the old ones, you had full customizations and everything unlocked from the beginning. Now everything cool stuff you must pay for pay extra to get cool skills and stuff.
I see.
But it became worse.
It sucks.
So people became the quality of games generally went low. Now most of AAA gaming these days are are way lower than AAA gaming in like 10 years ago or 20 years ago.
That's why I stopped one كان في Red Alert 2 من بعد ما لعبت شيء ثاني.
The thing is, those games, the games, the Red Alert series.
I love strategy games.
Red Alert is still alive.
Yeah, it is of course. فيك تلعبها اونلاين هلا ببلاش.
Red Alert 1.
وما 2.
Red Alert, the first Red Alert, first Command and Conquer.
Command and Conquer.
Tiberian Sun, I think. I don't know.
هيك تلعبها لايف بالشهر.
I think there's 3 games in the Command and Conquer series. They are now freeware. You can play them for free without paying us.
Yeah.
Like in Red Alert 2 and other games in the series, you
have to pay.
You have to pay. But you can buy the entire collection in like $10-20.
On like a CD or like USB digital.
On store.
عادي from the store.
From EA فيك تشتري. أنا من زمان اشتريت عندي كل الجيمز كل الكوماند كونكر جيمز. Generals, 2, 3.
بدي اخذ منك ال2.
عندي على account. You could buy it for $20.
ليش؟ بدي اخذه منك.
ما بيمشي الحال. Like it doesn't work like that. You need to have.
It only works on one PC.
بدك تحط. I can put it.
And that's how they rip you off.
No, it's how it works. It's account based.
ما هذا الشيء كله ما كان موجود من قبل.
من زمان. ما هن هول الأوريجن.
هذا قصدي إنه هذا بيعملوا أكتر مصاري بس هذا.
من زمان الجيم هذا it's kind of a DRM هو لأنه to prevent like piracy because all illegal purchase games you cannot play unless you have an account. أنا ما في يعني.
كنا ننسخ سيديز بتذكر صح؟
You still can pirate games. You can like the advantage إنه usually like أنا هلا Red Alert بلعبها مع mod. There's a good mod for Red Alert 2 which expands the game. I played with mod. أصلاً I play most like Command and Conquer games هلا with mod. هو اللي مخلي kept it alive is mod. A lot of games are kept alive with modding.
What do you mean by modding?
Modification of the game, like adding stuff to the game. Like a lot of the games I play there's mods from them. Some more than others. Some games don't.
Free or?
Mods are free.
Okay.
But 90% or but it's mostly some. But if you have the game, you can mod the game. But modding don't usually work. And if you have the pirated version, like
I see.
Illegal.
Yeah, of course.
Illegal when you hack a game, you fiddle with the game, you cause problems or not.
You're disabling some stuff.
Yeah, you're thinking in the game. So
عم غير بالDNA تبعه.
Basically, so mods don't work mostly with pirated copies of games. But they do work sometimes, but some mods don't work because they change stuff.
هالشيء يعمل كراك. أصلاً it's unethical to pirate. Don't ever pirate games.
Well, it's unethical, but sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
Sometimes because like piracy is basically a necessity. It's a necessity made by the lack of demos and lack of previews of games. Like in the past, they used to make a lot of demos. يعملوا كتير demos. Demos is like a small
demo.
A small portion of the game. And you could play it for a while to see if you like the game and then purchase it.
Okay. So tell me كنا عم نحكي عن quality of the games هالأيام.
The quality of the games هلا is حسب انت وين عم شو اي type of game ثاني. Triple A games the quality تاعه هلا most of the time is trash tier.
Of مثل شو مثلا؟
The last Call of Duty last couple of Call of Duties weren't that great. Were average at best. Last Battlefield was trash. Battlefield was what's its name? Battlefield 2042. حط Google it. Last Battlefield game.
اوكي جوجل هلا انت عم تحكي.
Last but 20 something called 20 something 2042 2048 I forgot what that
لا last
Battlefield game
Battlefield game
اسمه 20 something
2042 معك حق.
2042 it was they promised to make a Battlefield game. It's set in modern it's a modern-esque war with like return to form of Call of Duty with Battlefield, but the game came out buggy. Like it was so fucking weird. The game was so bad that you aim with a sniper on an enemy and you can't hit him. With a sniper, you aim point blank range, like basically easy, like you hit him. It was that buggy.
كان في كتير bugs يا. انا بتذكر العب كاونتر سترايك كان في كتير bugs كنت اوصل ورا الحيط يموت مثلا.
No, that's a feature.
That's a feature. It's not a bug. بس انا اكون بالبيس عم بوصل هو بيكون بالبيس عنده بكون قوصت انا بحجره بكون صبته. Is that a feature?
في عندك some weapons I think بالكاونتر سترايك they could like pierce.
كتير phony feature بس.
It kind of
I just knew that. I never knew that على فكرة.
like certain
كنا نقعد نكتشفهم انه نقعد نقوص على الحيطان نقول له وقف ورا الحيط بلكي بينصاب وقف بالبيس.
لا in counter strike I don't know if the new ones are the same. But the old counter strike عندك certain areas and walls if you stand if you you can like some weapons
some maps
armor piercing. It's kind of use that. The old games but not all games are equal. Like عندك the indie games now are pretty good.
Indie games?
Indie standing for independent games. Some games are made by one developer.
Okay. And they are sold on which platform?
On Steam and other platforms.
And they can work on Xbox, PS3. حسب.
Indie developers can range from one developer team, one person, to a to a small team.
Okay.
They usually indie means like they're not attached.
Independent, not attached to a company or
to a publisher. مثل EA, Activision, Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, all the big companies and publishers. The indies are much independent. عندهم more ability to do their own vision.
Okay. To get their own vision. بفهمك. Kleenex. Thank you. What do you think of indie games?
Indie games are indie games.
Which is your favorite? شوفها انه هيدي
في كثير
هيدي طبشت على الكل.
favorite because a lot of
اقوى من PS او من Xbox بتلاقيها ولا ما في.
Some games are good. You cannot like
compare.
Say like it's hard to favor because there's a lot of good games in the spectrum. Some of them are better.
شو بتنصح اللي عم يحضر اي اندي جيمز يلعبوها؟
I don't know.
One game. او خلينا لجماعة زي يكون فكرت فيها مزبوط.
هلا we're not gonna recommend gaming games because we're talking in general about.
Okay, maybe next time you can recommend.
Maybe. And
ما في شيء.
And okay, you could like and the gaming guys عندك certain indie games the quality of certain indie games are equal to AAA games.
من the big like the other big companies.
Yeah. The quality of certain indie, especially also we have a category of games called AA games.
Yeah, AA games.
They're like medium-sized studios.
في منهم على موبايل جيمز.
Mobile games are mostly trash. Mobile games are 99% of mobile games are made to make money.
Easy money.
Easy money. Mobile gaming was a promising thing first, but they milked it like a cow. The cow died, and they still milking it. Like they use it makes a lot of money, but the quality of games is.
وهو حسيت هو الموبايل جيمز اكتر الادكشن انه بس حتى واحد
ما they use addiction
it's stress release you know
they use addiction
they advise that in psychology يعني
they use addiction
اكيد
whole the microtransactions and all those things they use addiction.
هلا خلينا نعترف بشغله they use addiction in almost everything whether games or other than games يعني
the publishers use the addiction certain type of addictions in people to make money.
أكيد كل الجيمز.
There's something called like FOMO, fear of missing out. They make like this cool skin and they tell you pay $30, $40 for this skin bundle and you have until you have 72 hours to get it. It's called FOMO, fear of missing out. So you make certain players rush to pay for this cool skin.
Isn't it the same with the console games and PS games, PC games?
No.
كمان في online store and بيجوا يمكن مش كتير لأنه already أنت عم.
No, based on the game and the publisher. Certain games are better than other games. Not all games have addictive microtransactions. Some have. Call of Duty has a lot. Games like basically because games made by Activision Blizzard have a lot of microtransactions and basically most of the Activision Blizzard games recently are not so great. The recent Overwatch 2 game is terrible. And they promised in the Call of Duty the new Overwatch 2 had a story. They promised a story mode. A story campaign mode, basically. So before they released the game, they announced that they're gonna axe it, in other words, cancel it. And then after that, they took the remaining of the development, what they ever developed from that mode, and they released a mode called the Hero mode, which is like small missions for certain heroes. But you have to pay $20 to play this. Wow. So people got basically paid because they cancelled it and the way they handled that later.
I see.
Activision Blizzard is one of the most greediest gaming companies ever. They're so greedy, like in Call of Duty, they sell you, they can, on the store, they sell you radical.
What's?
Even radical بالgun, radical.
نادور يعني؟
الدوت تعرف الراديكال بالدوت انت
اوكي
في مثل
ما احنا بنتعلم
they sell you it for $2 yes they sell that in the store
شو هال
greedy
they're making it too انه realistic انه بتروح اشتري الليزر
لا there's this like a different one like you can change it pay $2 to get this custom. It's not a custom made, it's simple.
Custom made,
It's simple. They're good down here.
So many ways to rip you off.
Also, you have other stuff in gaming that's happening that's making gaming worse. Wokeism, which is this woke ideology is invaded gaming and it's changed a lot of things.
What's wokeism?
It's an ideology based in America and the West. It made certain things problematic. For example, they have for a certain developers and certain games, they made female characters ugly, or they made them have a little bit of a fat face, like chubby faces. Like in the recent Spider-Man, some people saying that in the recent Spider-Man 2 games, the upcoming one, Mary Jane Watson, which is supposed to be a bombshell, super hot, she looks. Some people are looking at. She looks like a grandma.
But why do they do that? What's with this mind?
It's feminism. To to don't say
انه انه الجمال هو
لا because they come if like they think if a woman is hot
I got you.
they're objectifying women which is not true. Women are always like attractive women always like had
this هيدي الميزة
natural for
true
man to be attracted to natural to attractive women. You're not gonna look at a super ugly character. You're not gonna look at for you're gonna hate them because
صح. How are they representing the men in these games?
Well, it's opposite.
It's opposite, right?
Super sexy buff man.
لكن مش
shirt without a shirt.
يعني صرنا
but females.
يعني that's racism. It's some sort of racism لا أو
Also they don't represent all races.
يعني ما عم بينجحوا بالغرب ويوصلوا له ابدا بالفيمينيزم يعني عم يعملوا العكس اذا شيء يمكن.
Also they don't represent groups of people all the time correctly.
كيف يعني؟
Like in gaming certain groups of people are not represented right, like especially like Muslims are not represented all the time correctly. Sometimes they are represented
in the game
but they don't look like
هلا هيدي الكيس صراحة ماشيين فيها الوست من زمان يعني عن العرب وعن العرب كيف
they always represent Muslims
of course
bad people
او الرقصات او مدري شو
stuff like that.
True they did this as يعني مثل propaganda لإلهم يعني مشروع مش بس بالجيمنج بكثير محلات على فكرة.
Actually, you have games in the past where you play as the Americans going into Iraq and you shoot Iraqis like Desert Storm and Desert Storm.
على فكرة
those two games I actually played.
بس على فكرة طلع كمان opposite games بيفرجوا فيها Arab resistance fighting against other شيء شبه counter strike بس على Arab resistance سو عم بيردوا كمان
والله بعد حتى موز طلعوا game is called special forces
مظبوط
عملية الوضع الصغير ما بعرف اول شيء جاب لي اياه عمي بس ما عرفت
يمكن كانت البوم من تانكة بيبسي او شيء هيك
ما عرفت افوت عليها انا كنت انا قريت بالعربي ما هالقد قويه كان كل اللي التفت بالعربي ما كانوا حاطين اوبشن انجليزي
ايه لانه تيفرجوا انه لعبه عربيه
ايه بس انه it's not terrible idea تحط انجليزي كمان
ايه did you try the game؟
I tried it بس ما عرفت العبها
ليه؟ بالعربي؟ ما انت بتحكي عربي ليش ما انت بس مش معودين يمكن فيجولي او ما مش معود يلعب جيمز بالعربي بلكي
انا قرأت العربية ضعيفة
اوكي
ما بقرا عربي
اوكي
anyway فعندك جيمز احسن من جيمز
اوكي enough
anyway
I think that's it for today.
I think we have talked.
حكينا كثير قصص يمكن
قصص كثير وسعنا ورحنا شمال يمين.
بلكي next time من
next time نعمل شيء special.
هلا كنا شوي هيك
بكون much more interesting. Maybe they have PC.
maybe فيك تنصح اللي عم يحضرونا كم جيم يلعبوها من كذا
هالشغله بحكي عن الشغلات الثانيه.
انا بدي اعرف صراحه اوكي.
فبنحكي عن شغلات much more specific. I have like a couple of ideas I might want to do next time.
Alright. Sounds interesting.
Anyway, it's been fun to do. It's fun doing this.
Yes. Thank you everyone for watching.
It felt a little bit like awkward. Like I'm not used to like talking on a camera.
وأنا كمان هذه أول مرة بطلع.
It's funny.
Alright, thank you everyone.
It was fun and
see you next time.
Next time we'll do something more interesting as well.